Hello, my name is Kata Borrow and I am a part of the team of ecologists at Animex International, a multidisciplinary company that focuses on the interaction between the environment and humans and how we can implement projects that balance these needs. I am here to talk to you about a project that could help reconnect communities and fragmented habitats in Hampshire in the south of England. This project is focused on a disused bridge that passes over a busy motorway and connects a local heritage site to a nature reserve. This is the first in a series of ambitious projects that aim to use current or disused infrastructure to reconnect habitats across the south coast of England. The UK has suffered a substantial loss in its natural environment since World War II. A heavy focus on agriculture, plus a booming population, has resulted in only 2.5% of the ancient woodland remaining, and the disappearance of approximately 118,000 miles of hedgerows since the 1950s. Losing hedgerows means losing a vital mode of connectivity in the landscape. There are also nearly 250,000 miles of roads dissecting the countryside, and this is only set to increase with the £25 billion investment scheme allocated between 2020 and 2025. Reconnecting the landscape through various schemes that combat fragmentation will not only benefit wildlife, they will also positively impact local communities. Solutions don't just have to focus on the environmental benefits of biodiversity, but can explore the range of social benefits as well. Solutions can bring local communities closer to the green spaces that surround them to encourage a sense of place and pride in their local area. One such opportunity is creating social enterprises that allow for environmental, social and economic benefits. Projects like the New York City High Line, the Rose Kennedy Greenway in Boston, and the other global projects shown here all benefit biodiversity and people. The New York High Line, shown on the far right and left, is one of the most ambitious projects to date. This started from a group of people who wanted to reinvent the space left by an old railway line. This line was built to address the large death toll from large freight trains running on street level in Lower Manhattan. This elevated rail line was completed in 1933 and ran through until the 1980s, when there were calls for demolition as trains lost out to the rising use of trucks. In 1999, Friends of the High Line was established, and the rest is history. Now the High Line is a thriving space of wild gardens, biodiversity and community spaces dedicated to culture, the arts, well-being and hope. The UK has also seen some similar approaches to grey to green spaces. There is currently the ambition of turning an elevated rail line in Camden in London into a similar space as the New York High Line, as well as the Castleford Viaduct in Manchester. Sheffield has also converted many roads and tarmac spaces into vibrant green spaces. 41% of UK species have declined since the 1970s as a result of habitat loss, pollution and climate change. Our island is increasingly urbanised, degraded and fragmented despite attempts to reverse these effects. An extensive transport infrastructure to support areas of high population density in places such as the south coast of England naturally causes habitat fragmentation, if not planned in an ecologically sympathetic manner. In environments such as the south of England, where there are only patches of untouched natural habitat left, it may result in creative and less traditional ways to reconnect these patches. Linear infrastructure such as bridges and underpasses may provide alternative connectivity solutions, and due to the high population density, this infrastructure is closer to people's backyards. The M27 is a major motorway connecting a stretch of the south coast of England. It connects major cities such as Southampton and Portsmouth, as well as the New Forest National Park in the west to the South Downs National Park in the east. We are exploring an opportunity that will enable us to reconnect the landscape and engage communities with the natural areas around them. Unused infrastructure such as the disused bridge linking the heritage site on the south side of the M27 motorway to the nature reserve on the north side is the perfect example of a structure that could be turned from grey to green and increase connectivity within the landscape. Initiating a project like this will also open up opportunities to engage the local communities and encourage connections, pride and a sense of place with their surrounding green spaces. We would also partner with a social charity, the Minstead Trust, to provide opportunities for clients to attend day programmes and undertake upskilling opportunities. The area that surrounds the heritage site, the Bursledon Brickworks, is a matrix of urban, arable, open and wooded land that includes many priority woodlands designated by Natural England. There are also sites of special scientific interest, special areas of conservation and special protected areas, as well as Swanwick Nature Reserve, a reserve owned by the largest wildlife charity in the UK, the Wildlife Trust. We would like to focus on the bridge spanning the M27 that links the Bursledon Brickworks to the Swanwick Nature Reserve. This reserve also surrounds a secure air traffic control facility of national importance. The project we have envisioned focuses on connecting communities to the green spaces around them, as well as offering vulnerable and disadvantaged people safe places and equitable opportunities. There is countless research linking the positive impacts of green spaces on mental health and well-being, and how those living in more urban areas will benefit the most. This is why we want to take a grey to green approach in one of the most densely populated areas in the UK. Our goal is to enhance the disused bridge so that it creates an extension of habitat and connects the two wooded areas either side of the M27. Some simple examples of how this could be achieved long-term would be the installation of temporary enhancements such as bird boxes, planted walkways, insect hotels and tree plantings, with a view to expand upon this with a more long-term and well-designed permanent solution. This project will come to life over the next 5 years. Here is a simple outline of what we hope to achieve. In the first year, we would monitor the current bridge and surrounding areas, plan and implement temporary enhancements, connect with stakeholders, and take the time to really understand how the local communities view the project and how they can be involved. Year 2 would focus on gaining funding and any approvals that are necessary, continued monitoring, temporary enhancements to the surrounding areas, and collaboration with stakeholders. By year 3 and 4, we would aim to begin permanent design works, urban greening, and any construction works. Year 5 will focus on continued monitoring of the Green Bridge and any ongoing maintenance. Stakeholders are one of the most important elements to this project and hold varied and important roles. Our main partnerships are with a social charity, the Minstead Trust, and a heritage museum, the Bursledon Brickworks, who we are proudly developing this project with. The National Road Agency is also an important stakeholder in this project. They own the bridge that crosses the motorway and are responsible for maintaining it. Therefore, it is essential that we have permission to work on this bridge and also their full support for the project. Due to the bridge connecting to land that is managed by the Hampshire and Isle of Wight Wildlife Trust, a branch of the UK's largest wildlife charity, we wanted to involve them from the start. An unusual but exciting partnership has also been established with Amsterdam University of Applied Sciences by offering students of the Masters of Digital Design programme an opportunity to create resources that can be developed and used by the Brickworks Museum as an engagement tool. When working with stakeholders, we made sure to involve everyone from the very start. This allowed us to develop our approach with the main focus in mind, providing opportunities for people who are supported by the Minstead Trust and greening a space that provided value to both people and wildlife at the Brickworks Museum. The Minstead Trust and Bursledon Brickworks have had an invaluable input to how the project has been shaped and implemented so far. Hearing these different perspectives and inviting others to the table has allowed the project to provide social and economic benefits to local businesses and people. It has also encouraged us to creatively think about solutions and how these can be implemented, which has led to some exciting partnerships and outcomes. One of our main partners is the Minstead Trust. This charity, based in Hampshire in the south of England, supports people with learning disabilities by providing day opportunities, vocational training and skill development. They are an essential service supporting people who are not always provided with equal opportunities. One of the opportunities they provide is a work placement at a cafe situated at the Bursledon Brickworks. When working with a charity, it was important for us to understand their desired outcomes for the project and how they saw themselves benefiting from the partnership. As a core project partner, their ultimate goal was to provide opportunities for the people being supported by the charity to gain ecological-based work skills. They would also like to eventually find a work placement for someone within Animex. Partnering with a social charity has allowed Animex to develop a holistic view to its projects and develop its capability and community engagement. Another vitally important partner is the Basildon Brickworks Museum, the site south of the motorway that is connected by the bridge. This museum is a heritage site, meaning that it is culturally valuable. It was built in 1897 and the site was closed in 1974. In 2012, the museum received a grant of over £500,000 to help create the museum as it is today. Our partnership with the museum is fundamental to the project's success, as it is the main site for the work to be completed. The museum has been incredibly supportive of the project, and we have made sure to have their involvement with all aspects of the project from the start. It has been vital to give them and the Minster Trust the opportunity to develop the outcomes alongside us so that we all benefit in ways that suit both the overall and our individual goals. Even though the bridge is disused and is not a part of any major road network, it is still owned by the National Road Authority, Highways England. They are responsible for the maintenance of the bridge, and we also rely on them to grant any permissions for structural work. As with all transport-based projects, it is fundamental that the relevant transport authority is involved in the process from the very start. Even though in this case Highways England is having a minimal input into the delivery of the project, other than to offer guidance, recommendations and to help maintain structural integrity throughout the project, we have ensured that they are regularly updated and consulted. As previously mentioned, the Wildlife Trust manage the land that the bridge connects to. This land is the Swanwick Nature Reserve, one of the most popular nature reserves in the area. It is ideal habitat for numerous species of bird, invertebrates, plants and fungi, as well as small and large mammals. It is an essential area for local wildlife and also offers an opportunity to reconnect habitat either side of a busy motorway. Education plays a large part of the Wildlife Trust's work, and luckily there is an education centre based at this reserve. This has been given us the opportunity to deliver more workshops based on landscape connectivity, habitat restoration and local wildlife. One of the most interesting and unexpected developments of the project is the partnership with the Amsterdam University of Applied Sciences. This has focused on providing students of the Masters of Digital Design programme an opportunity to create products that can be developed and used in a real-life project. As part of the tourism aspect to the project, 2 groups of students are designing and developing interactive games and virtual reality experiences that can be accessed at the museum and online. These experiences aim to educate visitors to the museum on connectivity and how the local area impacts wildlife. One concept is an education game aimed at young children that helps guide a hazel dormouse across the bridge to reach its family on the other side. You are also able to upgrade the bridge with different elements to encourage the dormouse to cross. The other concept is a virtual reality experience that compares crossing a road as a human to a small mammal. As with the other stakeholders, even though we have our plan to guide this project, we have focused on a collaborative approach encouraging the students to develop their own projects and innovative new ways to communicate the impacts of road ecology and how vital landscape connectivity is. Since the project's initiation in June 2022, we have reached some encouraging milestones, including developing our project partnerships, using camera traps to monitor the current use of the bridge by wildlife, and planning innovative temporary enhancements that meet requirements by Highways England. Here are some of the species we have seen on the bridge so far, the most exciting being the tawny owl in the bottom centre. Our focus over winter 2022 is to develop a temporary enhancement that can be installed on the bridge. This is a way to test a concept. With limited space, intermittent funding and strict requirements from Highways England, can we implement a small-scale innovative solution that increases and encourages connectivity? One way is to explore the adaptation of industrial wooden pallets to create modules of habitat that can be temporarily installed on the bridge and easily moved for any maintenance requirements by Highways England. These pallets can also be designed and built in community workshops. Potentially, businesses can sponsor a pallet to be installed on the bridge, providing another avenue for project funding. Despite this project being in the first phase of its development, we have already learnt some valuable lessons. Communities and people are a vital part of any project, and by creating a safe, inclusive and open space for others to voice their ideas and concerns has allowed for the initial phases of this project to run smoothly and without confrontation. By listening to others who do not work in the same space as us, we have been surprised by the ideas that have been sparked by these conversations, which has led to the proposal of some creative solutions. Projects like the New York City High Line, the Rose Kennedy Greenway in Boston, and the other global projects shown here all started from a big idea, a drawing board, and an enthusiastic team of people determined to make a positive change to wildlife and communities. Thank you for listening to our presentation. If you have any questions or would like to provide any input into the Rebuilding Bridges programme, please don't hesitate to contact me.